Things are getting weird and weird for the Raiders in the quarterback position. Honestly, I woke up thinking it was going to be a normal day in Raider Nation. Maybe some injury updates, maybe some light buzz about the matchup this weekend. But man, the things going on behind the scenes right now, the stuff I'm hearing, the way all these decisions are stacking up, it feels like everything in the quarterback room is shifting right under our feet. And I want to walk you through all of it because honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how fast this all changed. What's up, Raiders Nation? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. So, here's the big one. The Las Vegas Raiders went ahead and activated Aiden O'Connell off the injured list on Wednesday. And listen, this guy's been out since late August. Bro broke the wrist in the hand he uses to throw in that preseason game against Arizona. That's a rough injury for anybody, especially a quarterback trying to fight for a spot. And he comes back just like that. No roster move, no adjustment, no clearing space. They just activated him. That alone tells me there's something brewing. You don't bring a guy back from an injury like that without making a corresponding move unless there's urgency behind the scenes. It's like the team didn't even want to wait a second longer. And whenever a team shows urgency like that with a quarterback, everybody else in the room feels it. And I mean everybody. Because you know how it goes. When the backup is suddenly active again, players start looking around wondering what the next domino is. Coaches tighten up the reps. Starters start wondering if their seat just got a little hotter. And that's where Gino Smith comes in because the man's been dealing with rumors, pressure, whispers about his performance for weeks now. And activating Aiden O'Connell only fuels that more. And here's another piece that got my attention. Coach Pete Carroll said that last week, O'Connell was practicing against the starting defense. That tells me he's already ahead of Kenny Pickett in the battle for QB2. And that's not speculation. That's coming straight from the coach's own words. And Carroll said he's had more than enough time to get back in rhythm, and he's performing well. And honestly, before the injury, O'Connell was supposed to be the direct backup until the team panicked and traded that fifth-round pick to the Browns. So this really is his spot coming back. He's stepping into a room that changed while he was gone, and now he's bringing tension with him. Now, I know his stats don't blow everybody away on paper, but let's be fair to the man. In his first 2 seasons, he started 17 games, threw for 3,830 yards, had 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and a completion rate of 62.6%. That's not elite, but it's reliable, it's steady. And in a franchise dealing with chaos, sometimes reliability suddenly looks a whole lot more attractive. But here's where the story gets wild. This week, we're going up against the Cleveland Browns. You know, the same team we traded with when O'Connell went down. So this man's returning at the exact moment we faced the team that benefited from our desperation. Like if you tried to write this in a script, people would call it too dramatic. And yet, here we are. But trust me, that's just the first twist. Because right after that news dropped, ESPN draft analyst Matt Miller released his new 2026 mock draft, and the message to Raider Nation was basically, hey, buckle up because the quarterback changes aren't done. And he said it straight too. Gino Smith did not work in Las Vegas. And that shook me a little because he didn't sugarcoat anything. He called it exactly how he saw it. According to him, the Raiders are projected to use the 5th overall pick to draft Alabama quarterback Tai Simpson. And this kid, man, he's been one of the most interesting stories in college football. Only 10 starts, but cool under pressure, clean mechanics, smart decision-making, and the numbers to back it up. 22 touchdowns, just 2 picks? That's crazy efficiency. NFL scouts are all over him. Now, I'll tell you something I've learned watching this team for years. Whenever there's buzz about a quarterback in the first round, the current quarterback starts feeling that weight. And I don't care who you are. When the media starts saying your team is shopping for your replacement, you hear it. You feel it. You can pretend you don't, but it's there every time you drop back, every snap, every mistake. But we're not done yet, because while the future is blowing up in rumors, the present just got flipped too. The Browns announced that rookie QB Shidur Sanders will make his first NFL start this Sunday against us. And I don't care how good you think your defense is, facing a rookie is always dangerous. It's unpredictable. Sometimes rookies collapse under pressure. Other times they come out firing with nothing to lose and shock everyone. And honestly, his debut last week wasn't impressive. The guy completed 4 of 16 passes, threw a pick, got sacked twice. But Coach Kevin Stfansky said they believe in him. They trust his accuracy, his vision, and his composure. And they're designing the game around what he does best. That right there is what I call a trap game setup. Because when a rookie gets a system tailored to him for the first time, you don't quite know what version you're going to see. And here's the tricky part. Both teams have 2 wins. This is the kind of matchup that affects draft position in a big way. A win could push us down the draft order and risk losing Tai Simpson. A loss could help the draft pick, but kill whatever momentum the team's trying to build. And let's be real, it puts Pete Carroll's job security on shaky ground. Now, that's the story so far. But then I remembered a few days earlier, Tom Brady's shocking hint at QB position. I swear it changed everything in my mind about what this franchise might be thinking. Tom Brady, our minority owner, made some pretty bold comments about a college quarterback. Not one for this upcoming draft, not even one for 2026, but for 2027. And he wasn't shy about it at all. He praised Notre Dame quarterback CJ Carr like crazy. He said CJ Carr looks like the best quarterback I have seen at the college level since Joe Burrow was at LSU. That's massive praise. And when Tom Brady says something like that, people listen. Not because he's opinionated, but because, well, he's Tom Brady. The man knows quarterbacking better than almost anyone alive. And it wasn't just him. Former Raiders coach John Gruden also chimed in, saying this kid can make every throw, push the ball down the field, and that he's a natural leader. He even called him a potential Heisman candidate and a surefire #1 pick. That's not small talk. That's not casual praise. That's the kind of talk teams build future plans around. But here's the big point. CJ Carr isn't draft eligible until 2027. So if the Raiders really want him, that means they're willing to wait another year and skip drafting a quarterback in 2026 entirely. And that lines up with what some folks inside the building are whispering, that the 2026 class isn't looking as impressive as people hoped. And that made me think, if they wait until 2027, what do they do with Gino Smith in the meantime? Here's my honest opinion. With Gino Smith on a 2-year contract, the Raiders might not be ready to move on from him right away. Maybe they don't see him as the future, but they could still see value in keeping him through the duration of his deal, especially if Aiden O'Connell steps up and shows he can run the offense. In that case, Gino becomes the veteran backup, the stability piece, the guy you rely on in emergencies. Teams do that all the time. Hang on to a veteran while grooming the young guy. And if the organization really does have eyes on CJ Carr for 2027, that means Gino might be the bridge quarterback. Not the long-term answer, but the guy holding the spot until the franchise takes a shot at someone who could be a true game changer. So when I put all that together, Aiden O'Connell returning, Tai Simpson on the 2026 radar, CJ Carr sitting out there in 2027, Tom Brady gushing about him, Gino Smith's contract, the rookie Shidur Sanders starting this Sunday, it paints a picture of a franchise at a crossroads. And honestly, I don't think the Raiders have decided on their path yet. I think they're evaluating everything right now. Seeing how O'Connell looks after the injury, watching how Gino responds to the pressure, seeing how the draft board shakes out. And if none of it fits perfectly, maybe they just hold tight and wait for the guy Brady believes in. And I'll say this plainly. If Tom Brady really has that level of influence in the building, don't be surprised if the Raiders pass on a quarterback next year. It wouldn't shock me at all. Raider Nation might not love that, but sometimes you take a longer road because the payoff is bigger. So that's where my head is right now. It's a lot. But I tell you what, I haven't been this curious about the Raiders' quarterback future in a long time. Because depending on what happens in the next few weeks, this franchise could go in 3 totally different directions. And I'm going to be right here with you breaking all of it down. Let me know what you think.